Hey guys, Rick Shaw here. It's the 16th of February. There's my little handsome buddy right there. And my other buddy over there. And we got little Itchy, the dog, over here. He's coming to visit us again today. We give him some stuff to eat from time to time. So he's our buddy. But I wanted to talk again about these electric tricycles that they have on the road. We went out today. We had to do some running around, and these things they do about 12 miles an hour, and most of the people who drive them, there's not many reflectors on them. If you're a foreigner coming to the Philippines and you're going to drive here, they don't put reflectors on them at all. Their lights are super dim, or they'll run them without the lights. They think they're saving battery, so they won't run the lights at all. So you drive up on the road, and you come up on these guys kind of quick, and boom, there they are. And they're doing 12 miles an hour on a road that should be 45 miles an hour. So you got to really watch out for these people. Another thing, guys, not too loud. Another thing that happened on our way home this evening, and you can see it's dark out. Okay, we just got home. People that have bicycles here, they'll take all the reflectors off. I don't get that. Go outside, Itchy. Go on.
Oh, that's good.
They'll take them off their bikes, and they'll wear black clothes and stuff. We had a few of those ones tonight that you really got to watch. You really got to watch when you drive here, because you hit these son of a guns, guys, you're going to jail. I mean, they're going to throw you in jail if you hit one of them, unless you take off. That's what most people do here in the Philippines. If they hit somebody, they try to run for it because they know they're going to jail. Their whole life is going to be destroyed for an accident, which you guys got to understand. It's the way it is here. This is the way it works in this country. You hit somebody, it might take 3 years to get the case to court, and you sit in jail for 3 years until that case gets to court. So, and then if they give you any time or not, doesn't matter. You're in jail for 3 years. So, you got to be really careful. If I had to do it all over again, knowing what I know now, as a foreigner here, I wouldn't buy a car. I'd just say hell with it. Just use public transportation or rent a van. Okay, buddy.
I'm a shark.
Oh yeah, you're a shark. Very good.
No,
But it's pretty crazy with the way the driving goes here with these electric bikes, though. They're so slow, as if the Philippines didn't have enough bad traffic. But now what I'm hearing, just in the last month or so, I've been hearing about that they're going to make all these people that have these electric buggies register the buggies, plus they got to have a license. Now, we had our beautiful little car. I don't know if you can see that mirror, but it's all broken and crooked because some chick in her stupid bicycle, we're driving up the road, and she just didn't even look. Just pulled right into, smashed into the side of my car and hit my mirror. I got to pay for it. It's just the way it's going to go here. Another thing that happened when we were coming home tonight, twice it happened. 2 times it happened. We're coming down the road. We're doing 25 miles an hour, not that speedy or anything like that. And motorcycles just pulled right out. They came out from the right lane, never looked. They had the thing that kills me is it was a man driving with a helmet on. His wife was in the back with the helmet on, and they had an infant child in the middle, no helmet on. He never even looked. He just came out from the street and went. If I wouldn't have slammed on the brakes as hard as I could and swerved to the left, we'd have hit him. And then he flipped me the bird like it was my fault. Again. And then we got a little bit closer to home. It happened again. And the thing that made me laugh so hard, the second motorcycle that pulled out in front of us, and the headlights were on them. We could see them very clearly. But it made me laugh so hard is because the husband and the wife, neither one was wearing a helmet, but they had their face mask on. This is just so ludicrous here, guys. The things that they do here is just makes me shake my head. As a foreigner here, I just wonder what is going on. They had their face masks on. That's going to save them if they get in a crash, I guess, because they won't get COVID then. But just increasingly insane. But one thing, if you're a foreigner and you come here and you're going to drive, just know that it's they're just going to pop out from you everywhere. They're not going to look. They do not look. They just hit the gas and go. And if you hit them, you're going to pay. It doesn't matter if it's their fault or not. You're going to pay. It's just what's going to happen because you're rich and they're not. You've got a car, they don't. And I used to think it was, they're just targeting foreigners. No, they're targeting anyone with a car. If you got a car, you're rich. If somebody's on a motorcycle, they're not. You hit them. My neighbor across the street, they pulled out in front of him and he hit 3 guys on a motorcycle. He paid for everything. He paid for his own car, $38,000 to fix his car, had to pay for their hospital, paid for everything. So it's not just foreigners here. If you got a car, you're rich, you're going to pay. That's just what they're going to do. So just know that if you come here. Like I say, if I had it all do over again, I would have never bought a car. This thing, I drove for, I don't know, I was in an accident back in 92 on ice. I slipped through an intersection and bumped into somebody. No major damage. $80 worth of damage to my car. It was a little tiny fender bender. But since then in the U.S., never had any sort of accidents, tickets, nothing. I had one ticket in my entire life while I was driving. One. And that was for a rolling stop on a stop sign when I first started driving. I was in a fender bender when I first started driving at 15, and then I went all the way from the time I was 15 until I was, it was 92, so I was 30 something, and I slipped on the ice coming up to an intersection. I had summer tires on my little car and slipped through and bumped into somebody, and that was my accident I was in, my 2 accidents. Since then, with me driving, I've never been in no tickets, no nothing like that. But here in the Philippines, 3 smashes on my beautiful car already. 3. Not a single one was my fault. Not a single one was my fault. But guess what? I had to pay for all of them. I paid for all of those accidents. I had to pay for them when my hood got smashed, when the asshole ran into me from the side, and the police didn't care. I tried to get them to pull up the camera. Pull up the camera footage. There was cameras all over this intersection. His fault, 100%. Nope. Had to pay for his crap. And then I had to pay for my own stuff. Then the stupid little chick ran into me. Then I had another one hit me in the back. They hit me in the back and it was my fault. It just sucks. If I'm gonna drive here, if I would have had it all do over again, I would have bought an old beat up piece of crap clunker, because that's what you need around here, And it's not just me. My neighbors get into the same thing, and I'm not a fast driver. I'm not somebody who's just trying to blast through anything. I'm very conservative when I drive. But here, it doesn't matter how you drive. They're going to run into you. If you're driving down the road and they come out of a side street and smash into your side, you're going to pay, guys. So know that coming here, because they're probably on a bike or a tricycle. You're in a car. You're rich. They're not. So it's just the nature of the beast here, and it is a beast driving here. This whole thing, the culture here is not set up for cars. It's starting to get that way, but as of right now, it's not set up for cars. The streets aren't wide enough. The roads aren't wide enough. Motorcycles just keep cutting you off constantly. I was actually at a red light one time, and so many motorcycles pulled up around my car. When the light turned green, they just kept filtering in, and I couldn't go because I would have hit them. And the light actually turned red again. I got 3 feet. I couldn't go through the intersection because the way they were driving, the way they kept cutting me off. And that's what they do here. So it's not set up for driving. We lived in a place, we would have stayed in the place we were at before we moved here. And that would have been great. But guess what? The dang mayor decided you can't park on the street no more. Boom. We had to move. There was no place to park my car, and anywhere I wanted to go, there was no place. And it shut businesses down. There were a whole bunch of businesses that closed because those people needed to park. And it was a big, wide Broadway, and you could have had parking on both sides, but this mayor decreed that you can't park on this street anymore. And he started towing. He started putting boots on cars and towing things. Tow trucks were coming up and down all the time, towing people away because of the mayor. That's it. It wasn't because that it was helping traffic at all. It wasn't like there was traffic on that street. It's just he proclaimed it. You know, they pontificate here. Somebody gets in power and they just do whatever the heck they want when it comes to the roadways and stuff. But if you look at the other stuff, in this same town we live in, the same mayor, I've been here for 8 years, a little over 8 years now, and this same road that we drive through this town that I live in now, they've been working on this road for 8 years. They'll pour concrete and the road's just fine, and then for some unknown reason they'll smash it all up and re-pour the concrete again. It's not that it went bad anywhere, it's just that's what they do. And then if you're coming along at nighttime, they'll put boulders in the road, these big boulders, I mean 200-300 pound boulders in the road, in a lane. That's your warning, and there's no reflective anything on them, so you got to be very careful of that. And when they have poured concrete and there's like barricades or something, they're not reflective. You don't know that they're there. You have no idea. You have to really watch out. Another thing, they'll widen the roads. They'll widen the roads. They'll take a 2-lane road and they'll make it a 4-lane road. But what they don't do is they don't move the telephone poles. They'll leave you'll be driving along in the right-hand lane and there's a telephone pole. And there's no reflectors on it. There's nothing to warn you that it's there if you don't know the area. If you know the area, then you know the pole's there. But we've come along so many places, they widen the road and there's telephone poles. Guys, I'm going to have to get you some pictures of this when I get the motorcycle and show you the crap that goes on in this place. It's very, very interesting. But if you're not careful, you're going to run into a pole, guys. So I'm just wanting you expats to know that this is not your country anymore. There's no safety to it. We come along a road, we ride the back road over here all the time. If you go off of the road, and the road coming up, when we leave our place, the road coming up is the most terrible ruts, so everybody comes into the oncoming lane to try to avoid those. Well, they won't move. They come into your lane and you got to hit the brake. They're the ones who should be stopping, not me, but they don't. They just keep coming. And if you go off the right-hand side, your car's in a huge ditch that you're not getting out of. It drops down to the rice field and you're screwed. And just when we were going out tonight, that's what happened. A whole string of cars just were going around the rut in my lane. They don't care. They don't care here. They're gonna take charge of the road, and you better stop, or they're either gonna hit you or you're gonna run into the ditch. So just know this when you come here. So just me, I just had to talk about my drive today. You know, I try to be as careful as I can because I usually have my little babies in the car, and we don't want to get in some huge, terrible accident. But it's really something driving here, guys. When I was in the States, when we were driving somewhere, I always wanted to drive. I love to drive. But now that I'm here, I hate to drive here. I hate it because one thing that probably won't change in my lifetime, The Filipinos I've known in the United States and here are the most considerate people I've ever met. They're just super sweet and they're super nice until they get behind a wheel. As soon as they're behind a wheel, they become the most inconsiderate people I've ever seen on the planet. And I've driven in different places around the world. They just don't care. They don't care if they get in your way. One time we were coming out of San Pedro, and there was an accident. There was a dead guy at the intersection. He got hit by a jeepney, and he was laying in the middle of the street dead. They don't cover him up here. His head was completely busted open. Half of his head was gone because his head went on a jeepney wheel. And we finally got a green light. Well, there was a jeepney pulled out from the right of us, and he can't go nowhere because that whole traffic is stopped, and he pulled out and just sat there. Now we can't go either. He can't go anywhere, but he blocked us, and he didn't care. Finally, a policeman came up after about 10 minutes and told him to back up. Even though I told him, hey, man, back up so we can go through. I got out of the car, said, hey, man, back up. No, he wouldn't even look at me. He just kept turning his head away. You know, this is so inconsiderate. You know, when it comes to driving, they just don't care here. They think, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and screw you is what they do here. And it's something that you got to get used to. I mean, I've been driving here for years. I had a motorcycle first, then I had the tricycle, then I had the Piaggio, now I got the car, and I'm going to get another tricycle again and another motorcycle, but you got to really watch out because they're going to pull out in front of you on a regular basis. They don't care, especially the tricycles. They really pull out in front of us. And dogs all over if you're driving a motorcycle. We were coming into San Pedro one day right after I got the car. I had the car for about 2 days, and we were coming into San Pedro, and there was a guy on a Honda Click. It was a white one. It was brand new. It was really nice. He still had the paper plate on the back, and he's coming into the road, and a dog ran out in front of him. Somebody's dog. These people don't give a damn about their pets. This dog ran out in front of him, and he ran over it and dumped his beautiful brand new motorcycle, scraped it all to hell. His pants was all scraped open. He was bleeding. We stopped to see if we could help him out, and he was like, no. We helped him just stand his bike up, and he got on it, and his beautiful new bike was completely scratched. The whole right side was all scraped up and bad. His pants was all scraped up. His elbow was all scraped up, his hands and everything. Even his helmet got scraped on the side. Who's going to pay for that? Not the owner of the dog, which that's who should pay for all that. But no, that poor motorcycle driver. You drive here, you hit a dog, you're on your own, guys. You are on your own. It's like in the United States. I hit a groundhog one time. I was in my truck. I hit a groundhog, and it threw me off the road, and I went into a tree and scratched up the right side of my truck. Nothing major, just scratches. That's what you got here. You got groundhogs. Nobody pays for those, but these people here, we had last night, I saw a pack of 10 dogs coming up and down my street. We can't even leave our gate open anymore because they start coming in. Why don't these people keep them in? Who knows? But that's just me going on a little expat thing to let you guys know what you're in for if you come to this developing nation. Is there anybody in any kind of authority going to change it? No. Is the driving going to change here probably in my lifetime? Doubtful. I seriously doubt it. So just know it. Just know it when you come here. So this is Rick Shaw out.